Good morning. Today is the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. I like that feast day. I like his name because when I was born, my parents gave me my second name as Francis. So I feel some affinity. I presume my parents thought something valuable about St. Francis as well. And today is a day we remember this man who was so fascinating. As a young man, he was the son of a wealthy merchant, and he abandoned everything and just went off to live a life in touch with Jesus. It was a powerful, simple life. He was so fond of God's creation and respected it so much. He was also very much in the animal creation, was their friend of animals. In fact, you say birds would come to sit on his shoulder. That's how close he was to. But also, whatever he did in his life, in changed life, people began to follow him. Men began to join him. And with a short time, he built up a community of friars who were brothers in the faith, who were, like him, bringing the faith to people. He also, in a short time, created an order of sisters. And his own sister became the prioress of that group. So it's fascinating how he did in a short time. But then he died a fairly young man in his 40s. But when he died, he left behind a vision for the future, that what he had created between the brothers and the sisters, it grew and grew. And the church was so impacted by him that every so often we'd look to St. Francis, we want to see a real decent change in the church, a renewal in the church. Because Francis is a person we come to. Because his simple faith that changed so much, that became a powerhouse down through the centuries from the 13th century on to the present day. Whether you're a Catholic, Christian, or non-Christian, Francis touches your life. You know, people are aware of him. But are we aware of what Francis stood for? They stood for simple faith in God that allowed him to do simple things that became powerful. We're getting back to Francis and his love of animals. It's a great tradition down through the years that on this day, the feast day of Francis, that people would bring their pets to church to have them blessed. Well, you can't do it during this pandemic, but maybe today, when you're at home, just give your pet a little touch on the head and, ask God to bless your pet. Because your pet is so important in your life, because sometimes your pet brings us so much joy, and sometimes a lot of work to do as well with your pet. But make the best day you can, because Francis lives on in the world we share. And as we are looking to renew God's creation, let Francis inspire us. Thank you very much for listening to me today.